Wait, we go like this, right?
Ooh.
Slobs, you start this. Look, we cannot swear.
Do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
This close? Oh, my God.
What do you think? Adults,
What are our topics?
Hold on. Thank you for joining me.
Restart it.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Slobs Anonymous. I am your host.
Back. Joey C and KB, we're back.
I'm KB.
No. There's only one of those.
KB.
Oh, my God.
First and foremost, happy 4th of July week to everybody. Hopefully you're returning from the week with the same amount of hands you came into it with.
Right.
With fingers,
For real.
You know?
Don't jinx anyone.
Yeah. And happy Friday. Yay!
Woo-hoo!
Fucking Friday. We did it again. We did it again.
Yeah, buddy.
It's an absolute celebration. We're back today with our second rendition, continuation
Of our jobs.
Of our careers.
Career Chronicles.
But before that, let's give you a little week update. Cabes, anything special going on? Any news? Any terrible things going on?
Well, right now.
Do we get any stories?
No stories, but right
God
now.
damn it.
I would like to address that I'm very excited.
For what?
And I went to Michael's and they have their Halloween stuff out.
Yeah, you know what? Halloween's my second favorite holiday. I am not about the early deployment of Halloween at this point.
I know,
I'm
but
not.
you know what? There's this thing now called Summerween.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan.
I was literally I was thinking about having my birthday party Summerween.
That's different. That would be fun. But that's 3 months from now.
It's in September.
2 months from now. Whatever.
In the beginning of September.
I don't understand.
But yeah, they have disco balls and all this stuff.
I just like to allow each part of the season to have its own time.
I agree.
That's all.
I mean, I got 4th of July nails. I'm ready for the 4th, but
she does.
When I saw it, my insides were really excited.
I can't have it. I just can't. So you're excited Halloween things are in the stores.
They're in the stores. They're in the stores, folks.
Great.
Get to your store.
Excellent.
Get your local Michael's, not sponsored. But if they want to sponsor me and save me tons of money,
sure.
I would be
I'll take a
thrilled.
sponsorship from Depends at this point. I don't fucking a sponsorship would be
I
awesome.
actually might need that.
Yeah.
So.
The way I eat and the way I shit my pants, I'd be a spokesperson for fucking Depends.
Yeah, so
I just shit my pants. Again.
Oh God. So what's new and exciting for you?
The only thing out of the ordinary, I got my blacktop driveway sealed.
Oh, it looks good actually.
Yeah.
I seen it. I seen it.
Yeah, we got some parties this weekend, so it looked good for the parties.
That's right. It looks really good.
I skipped last year, so I was like, I really got to do it this year. There's some chunkage coming out of there that I needed to get covered up. So
chunky scrapes.
Absolutely. So we have no stories. Nobody wrote anything to us. Nobody likes us this week.
No stories.
That's what I'm getting?
I have 2 things that I've been wanting to bring up to you and ask you.
You only get one.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. What?
Okay, so one thing is, do you feel?
Yes.
This is completely off subject.
Off the
these
subject
are just
of
like
career?
These are just like my inner thoughts that I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna ask Joe.
Topic of the day. Let's do it. I like this. This could be a thing. Should we save the second one for next week?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Okay, so first one, do you ever feel like you're ever fully accomplished as a homeowner, or do you always feel like there are constantly lingering projects?
There will forever be projects until I am put 6 feet deep.
Yeah, right?
148.67%.
It's brutal.
Yes.
I thought maybe this is just me.
Nope.
But how do I function in life?
It's a never-ending hole, and unfortunately, you just can't fill
It's
it.
an itch you can't scratch.
Right.
It's really annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just curious if you felt that type of.
For all you other homeowners,
even if you're not a homeowner, even if you just have your own little place or an apartment or whatever, it doesn't matter. The more I do, the more I'm like, oh, but I want to do this now.
Yeah.
You
might get done painting a room and you're like, well, now I like a different color.
Yeah.
And it's just, it never ends.
It never does.
That's why my house always looks like it's under construction, because I'm just like, oh, this week I feel like starting this.
Yeah.
But then something else, I'm like, ooh, something shiny.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to go
right.
do that.
I know. It's brutal.
That takes my,
It's awful.
I don't know. Like my deck, I redid the whole deck last year and then didn't seal coat it yet.
Yeah. Didn't you say that your deck was dilapidating? After you just did
the one top rail is twisting on one of the sides, and I don't know why. I bought all that treated wood, and it's like, it looks like a fucking
shit show.
Yeah, some kind of abstract art project. Now all of a sudden, everything's like warping, but I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
But yeah. That's my life struggles right now.
Well, I'll save my. I have a slob story about me, but I guess I'll save that.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
We'll make the listeners listen to the third episode next week. Okay, they've got to tune in.
There you go.
So
now next week you have to hear my other Kaylee.
I agree.
Crazy
thoughts. I might make them wait 2 weeks. We'll see.
Oh.
But if they don't be sending in the damn slob stories or the inquiries or the hey fuck you guys you're terrible, we need something.
We do.
Can you hear the desperation?
Don't quit our day jobs.
No, absolutely. All right, let's get to it.
Yeah.
So I went, and you're gonna know. I mean, again, I don't know if we're supposed to be using names, but I don't really care. Like, there's nothing they could do. I went and worked for the Big Brother company was Vector Company, and they distributed Cutco knives.
You were a Vector guy?
Yeah.
Oh
for
my
3 months.
God.
For 3 months.
Did you make any sales?
No. I made one sale in the 3 months, and this is what happened.
Oh, the pyramid scheme.
The thing was, they said it doesn't matter if you sell anything, you get, I can't remember how much. So just for sake of argument, I'm going to say $10.
Okay.
So like you get $10 for every house you go to do your spiel, your 45-minute spiel. You bring a script with you and everything. You do the demonstration. Cool. And then when you leave, they're like, make sure you ask them to write down 10 people's phone numbers so you could continue to set up more appointments to sell more shit. So in those 3 months, I was making good money because I had a lot of friends and family. So I had like 10 appointments a day.
Damn.
And at that rate, you're getting $10 a house. You're making $100 a day or whatever. You know? And then
at that age, you're like living your best.
You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna work the system. I might not be a good salesman, but it's still $10 a house.
Try.
Fuck it. Right. Yeah. So. And then during that time, I sold a pair of scissors. That was it. It was an $80 pair of scissors. I couldn't believe the woman wanted it. I still remember the friend's mom who wanted them because you cut through a penny with them during the demonstration. They're strong. I'm a full advocate for their product. Love the Cutco product, but the price is where I'm
outrageous.
But it's all lifetime guarantee. This is not sponsored. I'm not. This is not a sponsor.
Don't lie.
It's not. It's not. But like, if I could own a $3,000 Cutco block, I totally would, because the product themselves, we were like cutting through leather, cutting through rope. There was all sorts of demonstrations we had to do. It was awesome.
I know so many people that did that, and I always wondered about it.
Yeah, it was nuts. So after the 3 months in March, all of a sudden I went in for my paycheck. It was another one of those situations.
Oh God, this guy!
And I'm like,
get direct deposit.
I'm like, I'm not seeing a paycheck here. And they're like, yeah, it's because you're not selling anything. And I had all my shit in my hands, like my binders, my scripts, all this shit, all these pieces of rope, all this leather that they gave us to like cut through. And I was like, oh,
you had 96 pennies in your pocket.
Exactly. So I was like, all right, so you're done paying me then? And he's like, well, yeah, until you get more training, like, yeah, we're not letting you on the field anymore. And I was like, well, then here's all my shit. And I dropped it all on his desk and I walked out. I was like,
oh my God.
I don't want to do this if I can't just work. I just want to work. Can you just I don't want to sell your product. No one's got $3,000 to piss away on knives.
And they're going to just trust some random dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
come on.
Even my family members, they're like, I'm not going to buy anything. And I'm like, I know. I don't need you to.
Right.
I need you to sign this paper. And if anybody calls you and says I was here, you say yes.
And you did the whole spiel.
Yeah, it was it. It was it. I would do that I try to do it 10 times a day with somebody in the neighborhood or somebody that I knew as a family member.
That's crazy.
Because I was like, well, if I'm not going to sell anything, I got to at least be making money, because I don't want to be just. So you were kind of your own boss to set up your own schedule. Then you'd have a weekly meeting to hand in your sheet every week, and you'd go there. They do like a 1 hour power up meeting where they're getting you all jazzed up. It was. They were banging their chests and shit. It was nuts. They're like, yeah, I made $300,000 last week, bro. Bunch of bros.
Okay.
All these juice head bros. And the one guy, he just his dad knew the people in the restaurant industry. So his dad set him up with all these fucking restaurants to go pitch this shit to, and the kid made $3,000 in his first week, and that was the standard they held everybody to. They're like, everybody should be more like him and make $3,000 every week.
Dude,
and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? The kid just woke up with a spoon in his mouth. Come on,
right,
get out of here with that.
That's awful.
But yeah, so that was my Vector company experience.
Wow.
Now you gotta lead up to that. You gotta do better than that. What do you got?
Dude, okay, so after that, I worked for a telemarketing company, and when I started off, I originally started off being the Empire carpeting girl. And the
Wait, what do you mean by the Empire carpeting girl?
So like, when you call the number on the screen, I was the person you were talking to.
Was it a recording or
No, like it was literally me. Like I was making home estimate appointments for people that would want carpet.
Specifically for Empire?
Empire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would answer phone and be like, "Hi, this is Kaylee with Empire Carpeting. How can I help you?"
A high-end receptionist.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
So that was where I started. So it's like kind of like tiers, okay? So when you first start, actually, you have to do cold calls. So it's for people that want to sign up for college. And it's so sad. Like, all you need them to do is, like, give you their information so you can send them an email, and then you get, like, you're doing good, okay? Like, you basically don't want them to hang up on you. So you start off there first. Then they moved me up to being the Empire Carpeting girl. Then I did also... what is that one? That school, that DeVry
University?
Yeah, where they had it on the TV.
Called DeVry University.
Yeah, or no, it wasn't DeVry. It was one of those school ones. I don't remember, to be honest.
One of the non-accredited schools?
Yes. It was one of those, right.
It's like not really a school. It's like the school from Accepted.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Right. It's like two teenagers
where
in
they'll
the basement.
take anybody,
Exactly.
no money down.
Right. And then I was doing really well, so then they moved me to this company. It was called Pilgrim Telephone. And then I was in this meeting. They pulled like a few of us, right? And it was like, literally the one day while I was at work, I fell asleep while I was working because I was hungover, and the lady just sent me home. I didn't get in trouble. She just said, "Are you sleeping?" And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry." And she literally was like, "Go home and sleep and come back tomorrow." And I was shocked. I must have been pretty good. So then, they pulled me out. They pulled me in this meeting, and they're sitting us down. They're like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 18. They're like, "Okay, we need you to sign this release form and all this stuff to show that you're 18. I'm like, "Don't you have all this?" They're like, "Yeah, we need to. Once you're done with the meeting, you have to sign this paper." I'm like, "Okay." So they're like, "Is it gonna be Pilgrim Telephone? Blah blah blah." I'm like, "What the hell is Pilgrim Telephone?" They're like, "It's an adult chat line service."
Dude, get out of here.
So then they're like, "You're not going to have phone sex with people, but you are going to be the operator.
You're going to direct them to whatever they need."
And let me tell you, that was the most wild job.
I was saying it had to be nuts.
Ever.
That had to be absolutely crazy.
Ever.
So, all right, we're going to reenact this here. All right, ring. I'm calling. You pick up.
"Thank you for calling Pilgrim Telephone. This is Kaylee. How can I help you?"
But
I would never give them my real name. I would always say my name was Candy.
You actively picked the name Candy?
Yeah, because
always?
the reason was because
I have a new one every time they call.
No, literally. So it was me and this gay guy. We sat next to each other, and he was hilarious. We would literally fuck around all day. But I picked Candy because at the time, my favorite makeup artist was this lady named Candy Johnson.
Okay.
And her name started with a K, and I thought it was like really cool. So I'm like, if I could change my name, I would change it to Candy with a K.
This is Candy with a K?
No. But that's how I came up with the name Candy.
All right.
And then that was when I was like really into makeup and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm going to pay for my beauty school. I'm going to work here, because I was making mad cash.
Really?
There. It was disgusting how much money I was making. My mom was like, "You better not quit your job because you're making a lot of money." Because I would literally sign people up to, like, they would call in for like phone sex.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, let's get back to what a call sounds like. So, like, I
don't think we could do that.
Like, I'm calling, and what is this guy asking for? Like, what?
Usually they answer the phone. They're like,
just,
yeah, right. They're already starting, and I'm like, "Are you looking to get connected?" And then
what
they're
else
like,
would they be looking for?
they're like, yeah. They're like, so they have to get their credit card information before I can.
Oh, so that's right out the gate. If the guy's not
Right
like
off the bat.
4200,
Yes.
like,
I'm like, okay,
in order to proceed,
in order to
please
proceed, I do
continue
need
with your
like the
credit card
following
number.
information.
Wow.
So you have to go through that. They're jerking off while you're going through that
Dude,
already. Like
that is insane.
there was one time a guy wanted to. Many of times they would want to have phone sex with me, and I'm like, no, I'm not the phone. I'm
You're
just
like, I
the
don't
operator.
get paid for that.
Yeah,
That's above my pay grade.
there was a guy who literally wanted my cell phone, and he was like, I will pay you $100 every half hour
Dude, that's insane.
to have phone sex with me and my wife.
So you did it.
No, I didn't do it. They're like, can we have your personal cell phone number? Because
That's
my
nuts.
wife likes
Yeah,
your
and then
voice.
you would have ended up in a trunk with like
Right.
your skin
Exactly.
peeled
I'm
off,
like,
and the guy would have made a lantern out of it.
right. No, thank you. The stories I have for that is endless. I mean, I could just go for days.
I was gonna say that sounds insane.
Yeah, that was wild.
But so I mean, do they have
But
to
it
like,
was hilarious.
do they have to request like what they're into
They
or like
would.
what
They wouldn't even. They like it was. So it was weird. So like you just transfer them
to,
after that to like.
so you get their credit card, their name, whatever, you verify that, and you're like, all right, now I'm just pushing you out to the girls. At
Yes,
this point.
but I would also do billing.
Okay.
So this was
God,
the
that has to be so embarrassing.
fun
Like,
part.
you gotta just be looking at like the bottom feeders of fucking America
Oh,
at that point.
My God.
And with
You
the
would've-
amount of money, like I can't even imagine.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I would. The worst part is getting wives calling. Like, what is Pilgrim Telephone? I see this credit card charge. It's like $2,000.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, it's Pilgrim Telephone. They're like, what's that? I'm like, it's an adult chat line service. And they're like, what?
The fuck?
Yeah.
Brian!
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. And you're like, they're like, you're a whore. They're calling me a whore. I'm like,
Oh, get out of
I'm
here.
just the person that does the billing.
Like, dude, I just work here. I'm not.
right. I'm
like,
not having
I'm
phone
not
sex with your
actually one-
husband.
yeah, I told him no.
Like the fetishes though that people would be asking, like, oh, do you have someone who's like this? Do you have someone who's
so
like
they would
that?
ask for specific women to talk about specific
Things. Oh yeah, very specific.
That is wild.
It was crazy. And my husband now, but then we were dating, and then when I told him that that's what I was so excited because I thought I got a huge pay increase by doing this. And he
That's
was
nuts.
like, I think you should quit. Like he was mad.
Well, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely see that. I could see
Right.
why, but like,
But I worked there
Oh.
for a while. I worked there for like 2 years.
geez, man.
But I
It
made
was good dough, though, huh?
Dude, I made really good money, and I was just the operator.
Imagine if you were one of the girls.
But like now, it's so funny because like when you go to a party, like all my friends will joke about it, and be like, "Haley was a phone sex operator," and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, "No."
But they hear phone sex and they
Yeah.
don't hear the operator
No,
part. Like,
not at
you're
all.
Like, dude, I was literally just like taking these idiots' monies. Like,
right. and just ratting them out to
right,
their
right.
wives.
When their wives
Like,
will call up, like,
I was
yeah.
that asshole.
Where has Dennis been?
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the line with Candice.
Right.
With Candy with a K.
Yeah, right. No, I swear to God, it's so funny.
But you made buco bucks, huh?
I did. I made really good money.
That was like this summer. I'm gonna commandeer you if you don't mind.
Okay,
because
go
I
for
screwed
it.
up. I should have read my timeline here. While I was working at Vector, I was also working at Marshalls and Sears. I had 3 jobs that summer
God
from
bless.
April to August because I applied for like 8 places
Mm-hmm.
and 3 of them called me back for interviews and I got all 3 jobs. I didn't expect to get them all, but
Oh
I was home from
God.
college that like I think I was going to Harper at the time and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life like everybody else who was going to Harper at the time.
Right.
Just get my gen eds out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, I need a job this summer, so let's see what we have. I definitely don't want to work like after losing my job at Chicagoland Commercial, I was like, I need a job. So I applied everywhere.
Right.
And I got those 3 calls back and I got all 3 jobs just thinking I just need one of these.
To
But
work.
I was like, all right, like if I just give them the opposite schedule of the other place
It will work.
and then squeeze in some appointments with Vector to sell knives, like I could make this work. I was working 80 hours a week
God.
on average. It was insane. So I was at, like I said, Vector doing the knives, but then I was at Marshall's in their shoe department. Okay.
I could
straight
never
up
picture
Al
that.
Bundy style. But it was always their closing shifts. So,
Uh-huh.
so I would do Sears, and it was Sears Parts and Repair.
Okay.
That were no, they weren't in the same lot, but There, ironically enough, there was a Marshalls next to this Sears.
I was
and
gonna
I'm
say,
like,
aren't
I'm
they
like,
like
can't I
affiliated?
transfer? No. I'm like, can I transfer out and work at the Marshalls by my other job? But I had to go to Arlington Heights to work at the Marshalls, and I had to go to Mount Prospect to work at the Sears. So Sears Parts and Repair was like people coming in for like a bracket for their washer or
Yeah.
the really oddball stuff, but it was a really cool job. Again, for a guy who was hands-on, I was like, this is so cool.
Right.
Like revamp chainsaws and lawn mowers and learning how to like put a blade on a mower, stuff like that. But so I was doing all this at the same time. And the Marshalls thing, they didn't tell me what department I was interviewing for. It was just like general associate
Right.
originally. So I'm sitting in this interview. They pull me in, and the girl sits me down, and she goes, I'm just going to go get the store manager. And I was like, what? So I'd gone in
Right.
with a shirt and tie on.
Okay.
This was after the whole
Dude,
Best
they
Buy
probably
thing.
thought you were interviewing for their jobs.
Straight up. The store manager came in. They didn't ask me one question. They didn't ask me a single question. She walked in, shook my hand, and said, you have the job. And I was like, excuse me? And she goes, just by the way you're dressed today, I swear to God, I'm not making any of this up.
Oh my God.
The way you're dressed today and the way you've presented yourself, you have the job. I was like, oh, okay. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea if I was in a department. I had no idea if I was a cash register or working at a cash register. I didn't know if maybe I was a cash register at the time.
Right.
I was so confused. But they're like, here's your schedule. This is when you start. So I came in my first day, and I'm working with someone who was not from this country and was very hard to understand. And they're trying to teach me that I'm going to be in the shoe department. And I'm like, this has got to be wrong. There's no way this is what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm not stocking shoes. I'm not sizing people up. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't
asked
picture you
them-
doing that.
No, like I said, straight up Al Bundy style. Like I
Yeah.
was not about to do that. So I talked to the store manager after the first day. I was like, hey, so there might be a misunderstanding. Maybe you got some applications mixed up, but I'm not the shoes guy. Like,
Yeah,
this is
right.
this is not for me. This is not what I signed up for. And she's like, oh no, yeah, this is what we had open. And I was like, well, I really wish you would have said something, like, because I don't really want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So I stuck with it because after a while I realized the closing shift during the week at a Marshalls is dead. You're simply restocking.
Yeah.
So like
right.
you're going in the back, you're grabbing boxes, you're putting them on the shelves, and that's it. Like that, and then you're hanging out with the people you make friends with, whatever. So I just dealt with it. Like I just dealt with it, and I would hop on a register every once in a while, even though they told me not to. But I was like, I'm helping. Look at me, like just to mix it up because
Right, because it's mundane.
you go nuts.
Yeah, right,
You
exactly.
you go nuts. And then again, Sears Parts and Repair was in during the morning, so I'd get there at like 7 a.m., work till 4 or 5, and then I would shoot over to Marshalls. And then in between all that, I was making those appointments,
Calls and
making
stuff.
knives.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
It was crazy. It
Dude,
was
you were
absolutely crazy.
selling knives like kids sell Girl Scout cookies. You're like, Mom, can you bring this
Yeah,
to
except
work?
people buy Girl Scout cookies.
You don't know that. But yeah, I'm like, Mom, take this paper to work.
Oh,
See who
yeah.
you can get.
Any office job I've ever worked, it's just like it's kryptonite. Everybody's crack cocaine. Is like, yo, who's got the cookies? This
yeah,
season?
I
Like,
know, dude. I
whose
know.
kids selling the cookies? You know, like it's
That was you. You're the
it's-
knife
oh.
guy, though.
yeah. I got knives.
Yeah.
All right, where are you at on your timeline?
Okay, so then after that, I worked at Victoria's Secret.
All right, so you kept with the theme of a little sensuality going on. A little,
But you know what though? Like it
You're all
wasn't
fired up from
it
the sex
wasn't
calls.
meaningful. I realized during this, I'm like, man, I have a lot of like sexual jobs.
well, it's like two. Unless I don't know. Was the golf course sexual?
No,
It was that guy's toe that really
no,
got you
that
going.
that was
didn't it?
not sexual at all. I realized what I don't want in a man.
Guacamole.
Oh God, it was awful. But yeah, I mean that was just pretty average. The only cool thing was like getting free stuff. I mean, I was a beauty expert specialist or something.
So would
like
you call
that.
yourself
Beauty advisor? I was a
beauty sexpert.
No, I didn't. No, I would get really mad if they would put me in like the clothes. I hated folding like
Oh,
panties
dude, I
and
know.
stuff.
And I've been in there before.
It's awful.
Like, it's just like the relationship duties as a male. Like, you have to go in there with your woman.
Right,
and it's
exactly.
like, when I see them, like, folding a pile of that shit, I'm like,
it was awful.
you couldn't give me 6 digits to fold clothes.
No.
You couldn't. You just
I
couldn't.
don't like to fold my clothes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I really genuinely don't.
If they wanted to pay me to fold my clothes, it's different.
I mean, I fold them, but I don't enjoy it.
No, not at all.
So I did like the makeup and sold perfumes and stuff like that. That was my job there. But I did sometimes have to do the other stuff. Yeah, it was all right. I mean,
if it was small and like garbage, we can get through it. We don't even have to elaborate on it.
No, it was whatever. But at
that was like
time,
your retail experience.
At that time, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, I love makeup. Like, I'm gonna do people's makeup, and like they don't do that.
They give you a decent like discount or anything.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of free shit. Like
Free shit.
anytime like a new bra or something would be, or like panties or whatever would be like advertised, like you would get it, so you could sell it. I don't know if they still do that, but
so you could walk around and be like, "Hey,
like I wore
check
this
bra."
out.
Yeah.
Like not like you're not showing them your bra, but you're like, "Oh,
Right,
I wore
right.
this bra with a t-shirt and it's comfortable."
Right.
You know? But I would just sell them makeup and shit like it was my job. I loved it.
Well, it was your job.
Well, I know it was, but like I literally would be like,
hope
"No,
you-
so like if you want, like I would get into it. Like I'd be like, "You need this for your cut crease and this for your
Jesus.
like this is this perfume."
I'll add it to one of the chapters of why I'm glad I'm a male.
Yeah, right. It was great. It was fun, but it was short-lived.
Yeah.
I remember I had to work on a 4th of July and I quit. That's what made me quit.
Very short. Yeah. It was kind of like these jobs though, because these 3 I did for, it was April to August. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna kill myself doing 80 hours a week.
That's nuts.
But then I went to, that was the other thing. I applied to Illinois State University, kind of like I applied to those jobs where I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get this,
and you did.
and I got accepted. So I was like, shit, I guess I'm going away to college.
And that's a real accepted. That's not even
right.
like a movie.
No.
Yeah, that's a real
So
deal.
while I was there, I was like, shit, now I got to get a job.
That's in Bloomington, right?
Bloomington Normal, yeah.
Yeah.
So from those 3 jobs, I was like, okay, I got to get a job at Illinois State. Luckily, I knew somebody who was already working in one of the dining halls who was like, yo, I could totally hook you up with a job, just like flipping burgers, making sandwiches, like inside the school, basically. Like inside
okay. So it's like a
dorm
work
room.
job.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was like a work job, or you'd be like sweeping floors, whatever.
Mhm.
But I knew I needed something because I had to pay rent out there,
Okay.
which was a crazy amount of $300 a month
Yeah,
to
I know.
split a condo with 2 other guys. It was awesome.
I bet.
It was gnarly. So yeah, I went out there
Frat
and it was
house.
just like you do.
Without the frat.
Oh yeah, no frat. I didn't get down on the frats. I went to frat parties
Right.
and busted up a couple houses, but nothing like
Yeah.
There wasn't anything like that.
No, I
We were
feel
throwing
you.
our own parties.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I was in their dining hall in the Illinois State University Lincoln's dining center for like
Nice.
their, I think it was Tri-Towers, what they called it. So
Did you smell like the food?
kind of, because I was like deep frying fries.
That's
I
what I'm
was- I was
saying.
making grilled cheeses. I was
Did
making
you break
patty
out?
melts. No, I was
Oh.
good. I looked my best at Illinois State, man.
Okay,
I was like
gonna-
180 pounds. Like I had a little muscle on me.
Yeah.
I looked good. Those were my good years.
Right.
And then I gained 100 and I gained a freshman 15 like 6 times. Nobody
We
tells
just
you.
never lost it.
Yeah, nobody tells you about that.
Right.
It's fucking crazy. All right, so I mean, it's your turn by default. I just talked about my next one.
So I guess like the other. Well, I worked at Sally's Beauty Supplies for a while.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
That was fun.
so I
actually
see this
liked that.
like transition though, where you're like, we went from
Mhm.
sexy to sexy with like cosmetics to now just cosmetics. Like
Yeah.
you kind of like you're doing this flow.
I had a pretty
Whereas mine have no segue.
like no, because there are a few in like later on
yeah.
that are like what it's like definite pyramid schemes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that's kind of how the Cutco was.
Yeah.
Once you figured out how that was.
Once you
you're
know
like,
it,
yeah.
like you're like, oh,
I'm
no.
out. I'm out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they're drawing the triangle upside
yeah,
down.
right.
Like it's not a triangle, it's an upside down pyramid. And
Right,
it's like,
right.
what?
Like,
That's still
wait.
a pyramid.
Why is this guy making billions and working
Right.
here?
And I'm making $10 a house and not being paid.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Sally's.
Yeah, Sally's was good though. I liked it. That was like probably one of my favorite jobs
Okay.
at that age.
How long did you do that for?
Like probably like 2 years, and then I quit because I started beauty school.
Okay.
Or like a year and a half, 2 years. I liked it. I wasn't. It was chill. I got to work with a lot of salon owners. That was nice. And then
They'd come in for that stuff?
Yeah, like salons go to Sally's, a lot of the like smaller ones to like buy their hair color in stock.
Okay.
I don't know. I just learned about. I got in trouble a lot there because I had really long nails at the time, and they were like, "You can't have that long of nails." I'm like, "It's a beauty supplies place."
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Why? But they ended up like closing up the store. It was good though. I liked it, but you would get a lot of theft there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was
again
a lot,
retail. Yeah,
a lot of times where you would just see people just straight up stealing
any of the
shit.
retail. Even
and
when
I'm like,
was...
we had to work alone there most
Oh,
of the
seriously?
time, so it was just me there.
Yeah.
Or like maybe
You're like, what am I gonna
sometimes
do
one
with
other
that?
person.
Yeah. There's no
And-
shirt off your back to
Yeah.
just be like, I didn't see it.
I'm like, I'm not getting
No,
killed for this.
exactly. We had a guy at Menards he was one of the front end managers.
Mm-hmm.
No stake in the company at all, but ran out into the middle of Rand Road and tackled the guy in the middle of 4-lane traffic. I was like, dude, you nut? But he was a bodybuilder,
Right.
6x5. This guy,
Nothing is worth-
fridge, and he
nothing's
just
worth
went
that.
after this guy and boom, until the cops came, dragged his ass back into the store. I was like, you're not stealing from my fucking store, like crazy dude.
I've never. I don't really have that much. At that age, I had no dedication like that
Yeah,
at all.
nothing's at stake. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Like-
I take pride in my work, but like,
Right,
at
exactly.
what cost? The cost of my life? Like,
Yeah, I'm not trying to
come
die
on.
over some nail polish.
No way. No
or like
way.
hair extensions. But yeah, it was a fun job. Like teen job, young. I don't know if I wasn't a teen, but
Pays the bills.
exactly. And then I went to beauty school. Shortly
Is that
after.
your next job?
Yeah.
Because then you get, all right, well then, hold on. Then I got to go.
Yeah,
My
right.
turn now.
I was like, yeah, you gotta go.
So from there, I kind of did this piggyback thing again where I was working multiple jobs.
Jesus.
Because I came home from Illinois State after they told me I don't belong there. And I was
Wait,
like,
what?
yeah. I sat down with like one of the deans and he was like, yeah, you don't belong here because you're failing. I was passing the only class at the time that nobody else could pass at the school, but I was failing everything else.
Oh, so you were bad
And
too.
he was, yeah, but it wasn't always bad. It wasn't interesting. I was going to be a teacher, and I'm
Right.
so glad I didn't. In retrospect, I
Now,
wouldn't
could you
be able,
imagine?
no, I couldn't
You wouldn't
do
have
it.
been a good teacher.
I'd be in jail.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
there's
exactly.
the way my mouth is, like I just,
For sure.
I'd
You would
be
be
in
done
jail,
for.
sure. I
Yeah.
have no regard for anybody else's well-being at this point. So I came back home in May from school, and there was a job with the River Trails Park District, or the school district this time.
Okay.
So it wasn't the park district; it was the school district They called it like their summer technology help, and their job titles were very straightforward. They didn't make it like
Yeah, right.
summer technology associate
Specialist.
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
Specialist assistant.
It literally was like, go on the website. There's something that says summer technology help, and that's the one you want. Which was nice because it was like a full-time. It was like my first full-time job, but it was only during the summers.
Okay.
So I worked the summers of 2011 and 2012, where I would just, for those 3 months, we would go into all three of the schools around Mount Prospect or within the River Trail School District, and we would take apart every computer, blow out the dust, clean them inside and out, and set them back up and like wrap the cords, make sure it literally looked like day one of school.
Oh, nice.
So essentially, we were prepping the school, the technology of the school for like day one of the new season.
Okay.
So we'd get in there and we were just cleaning out all this. We were hanging projectors, we were hanging screens.
You were
doing a
hanging
bunch
those TVs.
Yeah,
with
we were.
with the buckles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, putting them all in those custodial closets. Yeah, but yeah, there was like electricity that I learned how to do, like running all these special like switches and outlets, like remote control operated stuff. Really cool, interesting hands-on stuff.
Nice.
So I did that for the 2 summers of 2011, 2012. And while I was doing that, I was also bartending at Bogey's Ale House
Okay.
and working at Guitar Center at the time.
Oh my gosh.
These all didn't go for the same amount of time because Bogey's Ale House went out of business
Right.
eventually, and I was bartending there at the time. But luckily I had Guitar Center also to fall back on, so I went like full time at Guitar Center once Bogey's had closed. But yeah, so there was just, and I mean, bartending was just like bartending was the coolest thing. It was.
Did you get a lot of drunk people?
Oh yeah. Well, and here's the thing: I only worked Saturday mornings.
Oh, so you're just
So
there
it
for
was
the
really-
you're there for the boozy brunch.
It was like the lunch hour, yeah. And like there was a certain time where like the appetizers were half off. The old couples would come in and be like, "Let me get the nachos and no jalapenos."
Yeah,
And,
sour cream on the side.
Right, sour cream on the side. Only easy tomato.
Yeah,
you know.
right. So
It
you
was
have to
like-
run. You didn't have to run food, or you just
No, we had the busboys who would get the orders in the back.
Okay.
They'd get them and then you'd put in like the memo. This is for the bar.
Okay.
And they'd shoot it out and then they'd put it at the end of the bar and then you could serve the people. But I was cutting up fruit. I was, restocking the bar. I was like rehooking up kegs and like I was doing everything. It was awesome.
Cool.
And we got to eat and drink for free. So the whole time I'm like, oh, let me order, all the food was half off. So it was, so during the happy hour, I would get the half off at half off. Yeah.
Ooh, so you're
So
paying
I'd
like
get
$3 for mozzarella sticks.
Straight up. And I get like a plate of nachos the size of my ass. And it was like, all right, we're going to hoe down for lunch. And it was unlimited soup and salad as an employee. Again, we're talking about food.
Oh, nice.
This
I
is
know.
food
We
again.
always
we're
go
just
back.
defaulting again to food. It was just one of the perks of being there, and then you'd get one free alcoholic drink at the end of your shift.
Nice.
So I'd get done, I'd go sit at the
now
bar.
we know why they went out of business.
Right. They're just giving everything away.
Right.
But so I'd get done, I'd sit at the bar with the other bartender who would relieve me, sit there for a half hour, bullshit with him, and then be on my way. And then like go to Guitar Center if I worked that night,
Nice.
It was just like keeping those schedules balanced was a crazy obstacle to get over. But I was like, hey, if I have all this work opportunity and I'm keeping it fresh, it's not the same thing every single day.
Yeah, those are
It was
totally
really
across
cool.
the board.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, during the summers when it was like back to 80 hours again,
Mm-hmm.
once I got back from Illinois State, it was like, all right, what were we doing before college? Let's go do this stuff again. But then I went back to college in River Forest at Concordia. So I was doing all that while trying to balance more college. Like,
Oh my
it was
God.
nuts. It was absolutely absolutely incredible.
Did you see anyone famous in Guitar Center?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it's anyone you would know, but we had, no, you don't listen to heavy metal.
Just kidding.
We had, I don't know what you want to call it, like professional accounts
Okay.
that they would charge to. So they would come. It only happened to me the one time, and I had no clue what the guy was talking about. He came in and he's like, "Yeah, he got sticks. He got a bunch of drum heads, shit that you would need for like a gig, like if you just needed spare shit."
Right.
And it's like $150. He's like, "Yeah, charge it to the In This Moment account." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, the band In This Moment." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know who the band is." I'm like, "What do you mean charge it?" And he's like, I'm Thomas Hayne." I'm like, "The drummer, Thomas Hayne?" Like, I knew who he was because I like their music and I'm
Right.
a drummer, so I knew exactly who he was, but they wear makeup. So when he came in, I had
so you
no
never-
fucking
okay,
clue
so
who
like
he
a
was.
Slipknot type of deal?
Right. Well, no, like face paint. Like it was like white
okay.
face paint
so
with
like
like black
Insane
accents.
Clown Posse type.
I'm going to say Kiss because I'm not a fucking juggalo, you degenerate. No,
Am
it
I
was,
showing my age?
it was like Kiss paint, like it was, but like
Okay.
it's like dark, it's heavy metal, so it's like darker vibes and long hair, like big black circles around the eyes and shit. So I never knew what the guy looked like in person. So when he walked in, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Oh my God.
Like so, like I shook his hand. I was like, "Yeah, I just saw you guys like 3 months prior to that at a festival for the first time," and I was like, "Dude, these guys are awesome." And then hilariously enough, he came in to my Guitar Center and was like, "Yeah, I need shit for our show that's in like Lombard or whatever."
That's crazy.
So I got a picture with him. I got his autograph. Actually, it's hanging in this basement somewhere.
That's hilarious.
I don't actually
Where
know
is
where I
it?
have it. It's
Is it
where
over
the
there?
hell would I put? No, it's Robert Trujillo. I also met Robert
I
Trujillo.
can't see that far. That good, to be honest. Well, that's all right.
Oh no, there it is, right there.
Oh, yeah.
The black, yeah, you could see. I printed out blank receipt paper and had him fucking. You could
He
see
did
me
it?
in.
Oh, yeah,
you could see me
2013.
in my uniform, and he just walked in. Yeah, and
That's
it was like one of the
awesome.
cool. It was like one of the first celebrities I ever met, amongst
were like-
the several I have met. Like it's hilarious.
I've
how
never
you-
met any. Like, I've met
You never
one
met a
famous,
celebrity?
one famous person,
Who
Randy Travis.
you have.
Yes, I had like
I know it's a country
full blown
guy, right?
conversations. Like they invited us to their house. Like
Yeah,
country music people are like the most
it's that
pleasant.
hospitality.
It
Like,
is.
y'all want a lemonade?
It's the southern
And a shot of bourbon?
hospitality. I love it. I love it. Yep, that's the only.
Come on, hun. Huh? So that was Guitar Center was a metropolis when I first worked there. Like had got to work for the guy who had been selling me drums and cymbals literally since I was 12, since I started.
That's cool.
And he was my manager directly. So to work under this guy who I knew for essentially like 15 years at the time, I was like, should I get to work with this guy finally? And then it was me, him, this guy Dom, and the manager's name was Anthony. It was like Little Italy back there. It was all the Dagos working in the drum department. And when it was the three of us, like we meant business. We were always setting up like crazy drum examples and like crazy models and stuff. And then eventually they were like, you need to follow the guide, and it needs to be exactly 5 drums, exactly 3 cymbals. We maxed out this kit once. It was like a 9-piece drum kit, and it had like 20 cymbals. Mm-hmm. We broke out every cymbal stand we had, and we were like, we're gonna put as many of them as we could. So we started really high on the sides, and then came down in the middle like with this big wave, and it was massive. We had every little little cowbell, every little chime, every little gadget we could fit on this thing, and management got so pissed. Because there were specific diagrams we didn't know.
That you had.
They're like, no, this is we gotta put out the swing star this week. Like that's the big one for this month. It's on sale, $8.99. Like that's what's got to go out. We got to put out the Gretsch Renown 57. America. Yeah, it was bullshit because I had
America over passion.
Right, I had a lot of fun doing that. And I was like, if this was my shop, I would have every item out on display playable.
Right.
So you know what it feels like to play the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that part of it. Like
that was your Sephora.
It totally was. Yeah. Absolutely. It was awesome. It was unbelievable. But eventually my manager left, a bunch of the people I'd like to work with left, the store manager had left and changed a couple times. And it was just like it wasn't the place I remember it being. By the time I left, it looked like a garage sale in there. It wasn't even we weren't fully stocked anymore. Everybody was buying their stuff online, or you get people who come in and they're like, "Can I ask you about this product I bought on Amazon?" And we're like, "No, get fucked.
Yeah, right.
You didn't buy it here.
Oh my
get out."
God.
Or they'd come in, do research, and then go buy it online.
Yeah.
So
did you get commission?
We got commission, but in the drums department, we weren't expected to. And they explained it to me. It was awesome. Everybody else was held to a higher standard for their commission and their sales. Mm-hmm. But they were like, all right, since you sell drums, this is how we have to put it. How many guitars does an average person own?
Right.
Like, I know if it's my brother, he's got 15.
Right.
And he's like, how many drum sets do you think somebody owns? And I was like, oh, shit, good point. Right. Like, you can't really buy, you could buy 15. But where the hell are you going to put all that? Right. So he's like, you got to think of it where, like, we can't hold you to a standard because once someone buys a drum kit, they're not buying another one for at least a decade.
Right.
Like, whereas you get a guy who comes in once a month and he's buying something off the used wall because it's like $100 or something cool that he wants.
Right.
Like, so we weren't held to any standard, which was nice. I just had my hourly pay, which for me took all the pressure off of selling. Because I hate pushing. I mean, even though I had a passion for it, I did have
specific things you like.
Right. I did lead the company 6 months in a row in the insurance spiff that we had on our paychecks. The guy who sold the most insurance per month would get like $100 added to their paycheck.
Nice.
So I had every week. Because the cymbals would break, and I would have those on mine. So when it's relatable, I was like, oh yeah, the cymbals, I buy the pro coverage for these. Like, I break my cymbals all the time, and for $50 extra, you get a brand new cymbal, no questions asked.
Right.
If you tell us you threw this out of your car on the highway and it cracked, we will give you your money back.
That's like crazy.
There's no questions asked. You buy this insurance policy, you get 100% of what you paid on this thing, and you could do whatever you want with it as long as you pay for the premium. And I did it because we also got a discount on that. So it would be like $5 for me, but I was like selling it where I was like, hey, like, I'm telling you, this is good stuff. I personally use it. They will not ask you a single question. This guy bought a brand new acoustic guitar, was walking up the stairs of his apartment and dropped it the day he bought it.
Oh, damn.
And the neck snapped clean off. He came in with this thing in 2 pieces, and he pulled out his pro coverage pamphlet, and they're like, here you go, brand new guitar. And that was it, because he bought the coverage, and there's seriously no questions asked. It's an awesome program if you're hard with your shit.
Right.
Again, not a paid sponsorship by Guitar Center.
Right.
It's just something I believe in because I'm hard on my equipment.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that definitely leads us to your next job. I did a lot of talking, but that was like
a 3-in-1.
That was my second. Yeah, it was my second round of like 3 jobs at once.
Dude,
it was crazy.
You're like a savage. So then, I went to beauty school and I started doing hair. I worked at, well, while I was in beauty school, or no, when I first left beauty school, I went and I was styling wigs for Jewish women because I didn't have my license yet. And I got this gig and it was chill, but I never knew that most women that are Jewish wear wigs.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah. So,
are we going to get canceled if we're talking about Jewish people?
no, it's not. It's not even a bad thing.
Oh, I know it's not.
It's true.
I know how people are.
Oh, I hope not.
I
don't mean any offense.
I don't
in
care.
This.
No, I mean,
totally nice about this.
The road is paved with good intentions, Kaylee.
Yes, that's right. So I did that for a while, and then when I finally got licensed, I went and I was working at Hair Cuttery, and that was an interesting experience.
I remember getting my hair cut by you
Yes.
back in the day.
I was
when I had hair.
the worst hairdresser ever.
Why do you say that?
Because literally people just wanted to cut their hair because they like to talk to me.
Really?
100%. Or
I
do their
didn't.
hair in general.
I knew it was like, for me, I was never comfortable talking to like whoever the like, I just go into a hair cuttery like an idiot, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
right.
yeah,
It worked. Yeah.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I'd go to one where I didn't know anybody.
Yeah. So you didn't have to talk to
And there's like a 30-year difference between me and whoever the lady was cutting my hair.
That's another reason why I did so well.
Because you were young?
Because I was young and I dressed the part.
Yeah.
I had my hair always like some crazy different way. My hair was always done. My makeup was always done. Like I was.
It just like took the pain of going to spend $20 on a haircut away because I knew the person doing it.
Right.
And we were Were you married to Tony at the time?
No, I got engaged while I was I was working there.
So I knew you were going to be my cousin-in-law at that point.
Yeah. You were stuck with me.
Right. I mean, you were stuck with all of us.
Yeah, true
You
that.
got the shit end of the stick.
No. Well, no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. But like I gotta tell you, that was the craziest. I mean, I literally learned there that I could sell snow to an Eskimo.
You got to hear a lot of gossip too.
They changed. It's actually a law now that you have as a hairdresser, at least in Illinois. I don't know if it's worldwide, but
yeah.
You have to report like domestic violence.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
Well, I know. I don't know if it's just out of a movie or if it's true, but I always was under the impression if they're like, yeah, we're investigating this male for like whatever domestic beating or whatever, they're like, yeah, we always go to the barber.
Yeah.
Like, because they
so
always
true.
talk to their barber.
You literally hear the craziest tea. I mean, like you hear about people cheating on their wives and husbands. You hear who's sleeping with who's doing what with where, whatever. It's wild. Like the things that you hear is crazy.
Do you have just like the most balls to the wall story? Like of any of them you've heard, is there just one that sticks out where you're like, I cannot believe this just came out of somebody's mouth while they're getting their haircut?
No, I don't know. I mean, I had this one lady who I used to blow out her hair every week. She would come in and she had a lot of money. I don't know what she did. I don't even think she worked, to be honest. Like, I really don't think she worked. But she had a lot of money, and she literally would, like, just tell me about her life. And it was just so glamorous always. And she was just, like, two-timing the fuck out of her husband.
Oh, she flat out was like,
she would talk about it. She would show me, like, dick pics.
Get out of here.
Of other guys. Yeah. Like, and I was just like, wow. And she had the nicest car. She tipped great. Like it was,
at that point I would just keep her enticed, like, to come
like,
back
literally,
and
I wanted to know what was happening the following week.
Right.
Like she would literally ask me, like, do you think if I tell my husband that I'm going here for a few days, he'll believe me? Like, and I'm like, yeah, like you are a therapist. Like you
That's
are
nuts.
A straight up therapist.
So
like,
it should be a prerequisite to any sort of psychologist, therapist.
You need psychology. You need it to become
you need a shrink after after
being
working
a hairdresser. Like that is literally the hardest job. It's hard on your body, which you don't really realize it, but like it takes a toll on your body.
Well, you're running around all day.
You're running constantly. You're standing. You're fucking using your arms. Like it's not like easy. It's not an easy job. You're completely most of the time underpaid. You get no insurance 90% of the time. and you work every holiday and every weekend and nights. And
so
the
there's
shittiest schedule.
Yeah.
And you deal with crazy fucking people all the time. I had one lady that wanted to like read my fortune instead of pay me.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, I was like, no. Like, I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks, though. Like, she wanted to, like, barter her hair to be cut over that. And then people lie to you straight up. They just straight up lie to you. Like, they're
About
like,
what, though?
oh, like, I didn't use box dye in my hair for 25 years. So then you go and you're, like, balls deep into coloring their hair. They're going from, like, jet black to blonde. And you're like, you definitely have used box dye because your hair is not even. And I can tell that, but I can't tell you you're a liar.
Right. I can't tell you're a lying
to
piece
your
of shit.
face,
Yeah.
you know? And then they're like, well, why is it this much? And people don't want to pay it. They don't think that you're worth that amount. They think it's just like...
Yeah, but don't they know how to go and read a menu like before they go and get the number 5 or whatever?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, too, with hair. It is kind of tricky because you don't know the price of it until you are balls deep into a hair color.
Oh, I didn't know
Most of the time. Some of the time, usually it's fine. But if it's like a corrective hair color, 90% of salons, they just like, we have to like kind of see how this goes. This is the rates. It runs between $300 and $600 or whatever.
I was going to say, hey, what's the biggest job you ever did? Do you remember?
I've done like, corrective coloring is the worst. I mean, it's like, I like it. It's fun. It's like science, you know? But it's just like the biggest pain in the ass if it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So like you have someone come in with like purple hair and they want their hair was like purple and pink and green and they want their hair blonde. You have to like
this is so you got to get all that shit out first.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And without sacrificing the quality of their hair.
Right, because it'll just fall out if there's too much.
You're
shit
not
going
gonna have
on
hair
there.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have that problem. I don't have any hair
right,
left. I'm all
exactly.
good. Put it in another chapter of why I'm glad I'm a guy.
Yeah, and also I did guys' hair, like as you know. So then you get creepos too coming in because you're washing their hair. Then they had a thing called like a scalp massage. So you would go and you would like. I literally had a guy jerking off under a cape.
Come on.
While I was washing his hair.
Dude, how do you even get out of that?
I literally ripped it off and told him to get out of my fucking salon. I swear to God.
I don't even have words.
I swear.
This whole conversation just took a turn. Holy shit.
So it's crazy. Hairdressers are like they're
Hold
like
on.
special.
No.
I swear to God.
Pause. Put the stop on everything. You're talking like, was it out?
Oh no, he had like jeans on.
Okay.
And his jeans were like it was unbuttoned, unzipped, and
his hang dang was
yeah, because I'm bending over, like you know, like and I learned like slowly, like you can't wear like you have to wear like a turtleneck.
Oh, you got to just be.
You have to for your own self. Like
right.
You can't have any kind of.
Can't be no cleavage,
nothing.
No.
And like it's not even like you're trying.
You got to go in one of those hazmat suits.
You literally need to go in with. I would wear a smock 90% of the time.
So the dude just had his pants unzipped with his friggity fring hanging out.
Just jerking off because
That's insane.
It's like a 5 to 10 minute scalp massage. So you're like massaging their scalp. But
dude, I've heard about the people being into some weird shit.
Yeah.
But a public scalp massage is not exactly the first thing I'm thinking of.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Dude, add it to the list. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was probably the craziest thing. And the salon I worked at got
that
robbed.
Blows
at gunpoint.
Did they really?
Not when I was there.
Oh, I was going to say.
I wasn't there when it happened, but it was robbed at gunpoint. Do you remember that when like random hair salons were getting like robbed?
No.
Yeah, it was like a thing. They like
I had no idea.
They like hit up that whole area, so they did it at that salon.
It's just more shit I'm not privy to.
Yeah, it was a while. I mean, it was a while ago, and then yeah, it was a fucking crazy ass job. I mean,
nuts.
And then when you leave, everyone's like distraught, and I'm like,
I feel like that's how it is at any job, especially if you make friends. Like
right. Well, I became like I moved up. I became like an assistant manager and stuff. I basically helped. I basically managed the salon at one point because my salon
I remember you
manager,
being somewhat of a top dog in there.
Yeah. And I would do the interviews and stuff. So literally, I would love to just treat the fuck out of these girls that would come in and be like, oh, I'm the best hairdresser in the world. And I'm like, let's see. Like,
right.
I wasn't a great hairdresser, but I was like, sell this to me. Like, I was very Wolf of Wall Street because
sell me this pen.
Sell me this pen. I sold literally like hair products to people too while they were in my chair, and then there would be people with hair like you, none, and I'd be like, this is really good for your scalp. This stimulates hair growth.
Wait, do you like recommend anything?
I do. Tea tree.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, tea tree all the way.
No, I'm bald till I'm 6
I know,
feet
but
deep.
tea tree
I'm
is
out.
so good.
I'm out of the game.
You get all like cold. It's so
Ugh,
good. That was the best part though, because you get free hair services.
No.
I would
No
get free
thanks.
hair service.
Oh, well, yeah, true for you.
So it was wonderful.
I want to take a quick inventory though. Where are you at with your jobs? Because I might have some more I can clump up to.
I have like a few that I could clump up for sure.
Well, are they? Let's see what we got here. Just count out loud. 6, 7, all good girls.
Well, like my other ones were like good. I
That's
mean, I had
fine.
one really fucking crazy job
coming up
after
the break. That's all the time we have for you this week on Slobs Anonymous. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, me and my partner in crime here, Kaylee, are very happy you guys tune in. Because if you didn't,
it would be
it's just a therapy session.
It would be very sad.
I'd still show up, but
We know.
you would need therapy for the therapy you give at this point. So
I would definitely need
It's just
therapy.
a reciprocating, motion of insanity here.
Right.
Go ahead and make sure you are following us on Instagram. We don't have a Facebook, do we? Should we get on Facebook? Is that a thing? That's not a thing anymore.
I don't know.
really.
We could.
Maybe we'll get a
Let
Facebook.
us know
I
if
don't
you
know.
think
Yeah.
we would thrive on Facebook.
Is Facebook old or is it still thriving? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you're checking out our Instagram page. Go ahead and send us a message. Anything you'd like us to talk about in the air, anything that's chipping away at your mind that you'd like the Slobs to analyze for you. We'd love to do it on the air for you.
Right.
And if you don't have an Instagram, hopefully you have an email. It is 2024. You can go ahead and send us an email at the number 2, slobsanonymous@gmail.com.
That's the number 2.
The number 2, slobsanonymous@gmail.com. Yeah, and we'll be more than happy to read whatever you want. If you got a story about what a piece of shit you are, we're about it because we're pieces of shit.
That's right.
So it
We're
works.
here for it.
Be sure to join us next week for the part 3, final part to this
Dun, dun, dun.
crazy career.
Where are we at now?
Yeah, this is
Not
where
quitting our day
we've
jobs.
come. This is where we've landed with all of this work. But until then, if you're not having fun,
You gotta make your own.
that's right. You got to make your own. We'll see you next week on a brand new episode of Slobs Anonymous.
With Joey C and KB.
God bless America.
God bless Joe Capra.
Kill me. So today we are talking about our occupations, our
Past occupations.
past occupations. Yeah, I'm not going to mention my current
Current,
role,
no. We don't
just
want
for
to have. We
sake
want to have
of-
jobs.
Right, just for sake of getting in trouble.